Hey guys, what's up? It's AB Trades here. We're going to be doing our Sunday Stock Talk, which is our weekly video where we break down the top stocks that people want broken down so that we can have an edge into the trading week. Again, guys, here we go. I am AB Trades. I try to teach people how today trade options. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it works. But if you want to join me on this journey of teaching people as well as trading, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video so I know you're excited. All right, guys. As always, we start off with SPY, with the S&P 500 ETF, because it is basically where the market is going. It comprises the top 500 stocks, and it basically has one of the most liquid options tables. And when we're trading, liquidity is huge because you want to be able to enter and exit those trades effectively. You may be asking us, why are we on the 15-minute chart? We're usually always on the daily chart when we're predicting long-term direction. But we're on the 15-minute here because I want to show how you can use simple support and resistance patterns on a 15-minute to understand the direction of a stock. So this whole past week, I was like, okay guys, we're looking at a downtrend week. Every time we get into this area, I'm like, all right guys, we're going to be shorting here. And that's basically what happened, right? You bump into this area, you short, you bump into this area, you short, you bump into this area, you short. Then on Friday, we got above it and we started holding above it. So I was like, guys, let's look for a green day because we're holding above this trend line that's been acting as a resistance. And guess what? We got that eventually, got that huge green day on Friday. So again, I just want to show y'all that you can use any time frame, okay? Like the daily is showing you long term, the minute is showing you super short term, but you can use the 15-minute as your intraday time frame to understand what is actually happening that day, right? So long term we may be in an uptrend, but on the 15-minute it shows that this week we're in a downtrend until we break above, and we saw that today. On Friday. So going in here on the daily to get our perspective of the week, if you can see here, we have this 1, 2, 3 break that semi-failed, so that means we're going to have a lot of resistance at around the 294, 295 area because we had a resistance here, rejection here, and rejection, right? So as we're shooting up from this bad 2018, seeing that 2019 has been having this huge run-up, it's crazy to see this run-up because the lowest dip has only been this far. So if you want to actually understand what's happening here thus far, you can take a fib retracement from the bottom all the way to the top. And that retracement that we first had only made it down to the 38.2%, not even the 50%, which is usually known as our major support level, right? Well, if we want to take a better look at what's coming up this week, you can see that our next move up is this. We're now bouncing off that 23.6% fib retracement, so that means that we're going to be retesting. Sorry guys, I know that fibs don't make a lot of sense to most people, but it just gives you an idea using numbers and statistics around where a stock is likely to bounce, and we actually got that bounce here. So if we can continue to bounce up here to the upside, we're going to be retesting 296 this week because we are in an uptrend. We did validate support here at around 290, so we're going to continue bouncing up. All right, looking at the stocks requested on my phone here, I'm looking. It looks like the first stock requested is WORK, W-O-R-K. Looking here at W-O-R-K, don't know much about this stock. It doesn't have a lot of previous price action history, so I'm not going to be looking into trading that. Roku here, not rock, Roku. If I can spell, that's going to be a big problem there. Roku, here we go, selling off around that high, around 108.32. So that was pushing up to an all-time high, and now we're getting that resistance here. You can see that we have a lot of price consolidation around this point. Whole number price point of $90 with the previous consolidation about a month ago. What we're going to be looking at is to see if $90 or even $88 or $89 acts as support. If we break through that level, then our next support will come back down here to around $75 because that's where our most recent top was before that. Looking here at Apple, Apple here was holding this trend line, and then it kind of like teeter-tottered around the $200 price level. 200 level is huge, so that the fact that we're kind of playing around with it isn't that good, but we are making higher lows, which is indicative of an uptrend. So maybe if we can hold above 200 and break up, then we'll be looking for that green. If we can't break that $200 price mark and hold, then we'll be looking for a red day this week. Next stock is OLLI. I've never heard of this, so I'm going to look at the trade tab real quick, see if we have some volume on the options table. We don't have weekly options. Looks like we're going to get rid of Delta. We don't need Delta. We have open interest, so let's look at volume here. Volume is super low, not going to trade it. Next is XOM, which is Exxon Mobil. Here we go. ExxonMobil Corporation, if you can see here, we had that nice, and with the follow through was a lot further. Now we're starting to pick back up here. $78 is playing as that resistance, so if we can get above 78, we'll be looking to go long. If we can go below 76, then we'll be looking to go short. Again, I'm proposing both sides because no one knows what's going to happen, so I can give you a good indication on both sides. People who get on to me for not really giving a general direction, I think is quite a dumb idea. You must plan for both sides, always plan for both sides, even in this market right now. We're not officially in a bull market yet because we're still holding below those previous highs, so I cannot give you a good direction yet because the market has not picked a direction. So please keep that in mind. BA being our next stock, Boeing here. If you can see that we're actually starting to downtrend. Our lows are starting to get a bit lower here. So we may get this retracement back down to 340, or we may break this downtrend line and push up higher. Just wait and see what will happen. We may have to cover that stock tomorrow or later on this week. Looking at MO here, being Ultra Group, never heard of this stock. Let's look at the trade tab real quick. Trade tab, decent, I guess. The spread's about 4 cents, 6 cents on the larger one. It's not really something I like to trade here. If we look in closer, again, I would say that it does have enough liquidity to trade efficiently. But really what we're just doing here is we're downtrending, so your only trade that you're going to want to take is if it bounces back up into this level. I would take it short unless it holds above. Looking at the next stock requested here is MSFT, being Microsoft. Microsoft is trying to break to all-time highs. 138.4 is the most recent high. We're holding this uptrend here. We're kind of validating 132.5 as that support, and it tried to bounce but then kind of failed. So our support will be 131.40. If it pulls back down to 131.40, we'll be looking for a bounce to continue higher. If not, we should be continuing higher here. Looks like we're also going to be looking at AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. If you can see here, we pushed up to above 30, which was this resistance here. We kind of shot through, we pulled back. We keep validating this trend line as support. So what are we going to see if this red line or this red candle spurs a down movement this week? We're going to find support here at around $29, because why? That is where this trend line has been, that has held all the way through. Looking at our next stock here, we're looking at QCOM. Qualcomm here is starting to break up to the upside, getting a little bit overextended though. If you can see here, a lot of green candles in a row. See a nice pullback and then a nice push up. So if we get a pullback, expect that to be around to the 72.5 level. If not, we'll just continue up. NVIDIA is going to be our next stock here. If you can see, we kind of pulled back after getting this false breakout. Well, I mean, not really a false breakout, just not a complete breakout. The ones that we wanted, we broke out of the triangle and then we kind of fell back down. And now we're trending back up. We're going to be holding this uptrend, so just wait and watch it hold that as we push our way back up on NVIDIA. Looking here, INTC, Intel Corporation will be our next stock. If we look here at INTC, you can see that we're having support here at around 44.45, and we're starting to break up higher slowly but surely. And if not, then we'll hopefully in the long term fill this gap. Why? Because 90%, I'm not just throwing out that number. Statistics have shown that 9 out of 10 times gaps fill. So we do have to fill this gap eventually. We're going to be waiting to slowly eventually fill that gap, and then maybe look for a gap reversal or a gap continuation play. So sorry. Looking here, Facebook is going to be our next stock as one of the FAANG stocks. If you can see here, we're starting to consolidate in price. Volume starting to get low. We had a huge green candle, volume starting to pick up. Maybe we can continue on that breakout, looking to break above that 198.50 level so that we can continue to the upside. QQQs is going to look like our next thing, which is basically like SPY, but the Qs. If you can see here, we actually have this downtrend, and now we're kind of supporting this uptrend, but that's how the market flows. So this is looking like one of the same stocks. We're looking for it to push up here, but if it breaks below this low, then we'll be looking to short. Looking here, we also have WFC. I've never heard of this stock. I want to say it's Wells Fargo. If you can see here, let's look at the trade tab real quick. The volume is pretty decent. The spread is okay. Not really a stock I've traded before in the past, so I do not have a informational edge on how it trades. But it looks like it's very much in a consolidation type pattern. It's finally broken above its previous high here, and now let's see if we can it can continue with the volume it has picked up. Let's see here. Looking through all these stocks here: AVGO, Netflix, Google, Amazon, PANW, RH, CRM, VMW. Not really things I've heard of a lot, but I can go through a few. So I'm going to start with Cisco here. Cisco's having that huge resistance here at around $58, so maybe we can find that as resistance until we get back down to around the $52 support. Let's see here. Let's pick up Amazon as well. Amazon is starting to pick up. What we do have this resistance that's coming into play here from these highs, making those lower highs here. You can see it playing into resistance. It finds some support here at around 1870. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all tomorrow.